Welcome back to episode 3. Okay, this of Padre's Intro to Guitar. So we're going to talk a little bit about chords. So what's the point of having a chord? Well, on instruments like saxophones, all you can do is, or a flute or whatever, all you can play is single notes. On guitar, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. The chords are made up of first, third, and fifth. That we'll talk about later. But on a D chord, for example, which looks like the D is in there, the third is this F sharp, and the fifth is the A. So there's three notes that are part of that chord. Those are also in the key. And when you're playing the song, there's the key of the song. There's also the notes that harmonize with the melody, any particular note that you're on in the melody. So we'll get back to that later as well. But that's the gist of a chord, is you get that first, the third, and the fifth. There's a C chord. And you'll notice I'm not playing every string all the time. On a C, I'm playing the 5 highest strings. On a D, I'm playing the 4 highest strings. On a G, I'm playing all 6. It really depends what notes are part of the chord and whether those notes are on that particular string. If you play 6 strings on a D, you've got notes that don't belong in the chord. Anyway, there are major and minor chords. We'll get into that in the next episode, but the gist of that is you take the third on the chord and you drop it a half step so it has a sad sound. And you do mix major and minors all through lots of different songs. So chords are not random. That's a big one. They are tied to the key, and you will find chords that are common in the keys of G and C, for example, but you'll find chords in E flat and B flat that you'll never find, or hardly ever find, in G or C, or particularly E. So you'll see some repetitions along the way. You'll see different chord progressions. You'll see combinations of chords. Sometimes you'll see G's and E minors a lot together. You'll see C's and F's a lot together, and D's and A's a lot together. You'll notice on my collection here of the clips, I've also got a couple of downloads. I've got the chord sheet, which is really good for explaining where your fingers would be and what notes you're playing. So if you can't see from my left hand, that's why. I've got that posted out there. So if we're going to play a song with 4 major chords, those 4 chords being C, F, D, and G, we're going to go ahead and play that song that we played last time, Jingle Bells. But we're going to play that with chords so that we can sing along and it sounds richer and fuller, and it tells the person who's listening what the harmony is with each one of those parts of the song where those chords change. We'll talk about chords changing later on too.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. And those chords are C, 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 F, 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 C, 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 D, 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 G, C, 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 F, 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 C, 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 G, 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 C. Those are the chord names. The actual notes. Okay, so there are rhythms that go along with this as well. I was just doing half notes, but if you're going to play along, you should think in terms of guitar is often a instrument that, especially acoustic guitar, where you'll do either quarter notes or you'll do 2 and 4. So Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. So those are the 2 and 4 beats. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Hitting the root note. On 1 and 3. That's what I'm doing. There are also arpeggios where you can do portions of the chord. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Too goofy, right? Arpeggio stuff. Okay, so next episode we're going to talk a little bit more about chords and what makes a minor and why we would do that, and maybe talk about some better songs and stuff that makes a lot more sense and is a lot more fun than Jingle Bells. Until then.